Welcome to How CFOs and Controllers Deploy AI that Survives an Audit, a roundtable panel discussion brought to you by the Controllers Council. My name is Neil Brown, Executive Director of the Controllers Council, and this webinar is CPE eligible with 5 polls. You must answer the polling questions to earn credit and stay on the webinar for at least 15 minutes, answer a survey at the end of the webcast. If you're not here for CPE, please answer anyway to benchmark against your peers. CPE certificates will be emailed to you in approximately 48 hours or less after this webcast. Importantly, Q&A at the end of the webcast, so use your control panel to ask our panelists questions. And finally, you'll receive a link to this webcast by email in the next 24 hours, so no need for notes or screenshots. And I'm very pleased to introduce our partner and sponsor, Savant Labs, the AI automation platform for finance, tax, and accounting teams. It turns AI conversations into governed agents that automate close, reconciliation, tax, and reporting tax tasks across your systems of record, running deterministically with human review and audit-ready evidence. Learn more at savantlabs.io. And I'm very, very happy to introduce you to our esteemed panelists, Corey Merrill, Christine Gu, and Chitrang Shah. Corey Merrill is an assurance managing director in technology risk assurance at BDO, with extensive experience evaluating technology risk controls and control environments relevant to financial reporting. Our topic. Drawing on his experience, he offers a perspective on emerging risks and supporting trust and complex business processes. Christine Gu is CFO at San Francisco-based Clarify Health Solutions, an active CPA with more than 20 years of experience. She started in high school. And prior roles included VP Finance, Chief Accounting Officer, Corporate Controller, and public accounting career at KPMG. Christine's experience includes both private and public, from startups to public ready, and she's managed multiple IPOs and SPACs. Christine earned a BS Accounting from San Francisco State University and was the Controllers Council 2022 National Controller of the Year, which is when Christine and I met. Chitrang Shah is co-founder and CEO of Savant, building audit-ready automation for our finance, tax, and accounting teams. He was previously Chief Product Officer at Lattice Engines, acquired by Dun & Bradstreet, where he continued to serve as SVP and Chief Product Officer. Welcome, Corey, Christine, and Chitrang. And go ahead and come on video. And we will go ahead and get to our first panelist question. And that is, where is AI actually being used in the finance function today? Let's get right into it. Christine, let's start with you. How have you and your team, first of all, have you deployed Claude or ChatGPT, whether sanctioned or unsanctioned, and clarified how?
Yes, so at Clarify, we use Claude as our primary, AI model. I would typically separate the experiment from production, because in my view, right, currently we're utilizing the general purpose AI for primarily the low risk sort of knowledge work. For example, structuring a first draft memo, summarizing a long document or agreement, creating a checklist or some sort of template, and then helping a team member to do research and think through variants, etc. So this is very different than allowing the model to post an entry or making a determination on accounting conclusions, or produce like any number that directly flow into our financial statement. without a control process around it. So we have been very careful in terms of selecting the task that's utilizing AI. Um, and also, right, for us, control environment is also important. For any public or non-sensitive information, the team can get productivity benefit quickly from utilizing AI. But anything like for confidential company information or anything related to customers or employee or any financial data, the question still become, right, is this tool safe enough to be implemented? What data may be entered in here and can be retained and used for training, and who have access to those outputs. So those are the key considerations that we've been thinking through why we are implementing AI. I would say the most creditable early use case are assistive primarily. Again, drafting memo, outline, summarizing contract for follow-ups, drafting initial emails, also, preparing some first pass type of disclosure that can save time for us as well. And I would say overall productivity gain is in getting a sort of thoughtful first draft first, faster compared to before. But the control is still a very sort of key things that we have been considering and keeping in mind while we are implementing AI.
Nice. Thank you for that. And Corey, what are you actually seeing from the audit lens as it relates to integration of AI tools into existing financial reporting?
Yeah, thanks, Neil. So from my perspective, where is it actually being used? I would say it falls really into three tiers. Tier one is kind of fits with Christine, what you were just saying, really just drafting and summarizing. Think memo drafts, think research, think first pass policy readings. Generally lower risk areas that are also less likely by themselves to really maybe infect or overlap with an audit. Tier two, I would say, is analysis that informs judgment. Think like variance and flux explanations, contract reads to identify key financial statement commitment or financial commitments which may impact a revenue or an expense disclosure. First pass on technical accounting memos and so on. Essentially, in tier two, the tool may still be described as indirect to a process, but its output is influencing human judgment that may ultimately affect the financial statements or disclosures. And last up is tier three. That is where it would be embedded in some sort of automated matching, which identifies a variance for further investigation or an anomaly identification inside of a review control. But I see many at tier one. That being said, a lot of teams are experimenting with tier two, but running it in parallel to their legacy and their trusted process. And I'd say for the group here, like here's the part where I think that's really worth thinking about. If you're in tier two, we all know that a quality auditor is going to ask enough questions and turn over enough stones to figure out that it's being used. As I'm sure, Christine, you know, that will only lead to more questions from the auditor.
Good stuff. All right. Well, let's get some audience perspective on this and get to our first poll. Let me launch that poll. And that is, how would you describe your organization's current use of AI in the financial close or audit process? So please take a moment to answer that. First of 5 polls, all answers anonymous and confidential. And we'll take a quick look at these results. So I got to give you a few seconds, otherwise I'm going to get some messages from people. I'm too fast here, got to give you time. But we've got a lot of smart people on this call, as always, so we're almost complete in polling. So let's take a look at these results. And 46% informally ad hoc, not touching transactions or key controls. That's followed by piloting inside a key process with legacy process at 23%, and 11% embedded in key processes that drive financial reporting, and then only 10% not using AI at all. So, Corey, is this the experience that you've had with some of your clients you work with?
Yeah, broadly, I'd say those results make sense. There's really only one or two things in that spread I think that are worth pulling out. And it's thinking like looking there and seeing the 46 and 23 for response B and C. That's probably a pretty real picture as to where a lot of the finance functions are today. Some informal use over here, some structured piloting over there. I'd say the thing that I pull out for these two groups though is that they're not always going to be connected. The structured pilot is going to be is it probably being governed and reaching leadership's radar more, whereas the informal use may not be. And even though it could already be influencing judgment or a conclusion in your processes, I think it's very important message here to understand the full AI use case inventory, as really you can't govern what you haven't found yet.
Yeah, well spoken.